Okay, so a little bit of theory here about what we're trying to accomplish, because I'm just kind of diving in, and sometimes I teach that way. If I cut all these pieces off and then put them on here, I can then reattach them. However, they're going to reattach in a certain way, in a certain pattern, and I don't have that much control. The reason I cut off all these parts and unfold them perfectly is so that I can put them all on this sheet, export it to something like Photoshop, and then physically paint texture in there instead of just painting a texture and putting it on here. Okay? So we'll probably end up doing that. I'm just using this texture kind of to show distortion. They have a checkerbox one here, but I don't like that. See, this checkerbox one definitely shows distortion, but I like to see kind of the alien skin and how it's going to end up. But just to go back to my example about unfolding, do you see how evenly these checkers are spread and then how unevenly here they are? They're totally stretched out. That's what we've got to avoid with texturing and UVs, and that's why it gets kind of complicated. But really, it's not that bad. So let's go back to our texture because that's hurting everything. Okay. So what do we got to do here? We got to unfold for sure, and then we may have to make cuts. So let's work on this hand and kind of see what we can't do there. So UV shell hand right here. Where am I going to make the cuts? Generally, you like to you try to make them where they're not going to be seen as much, and you kind of unfold that way. Okay, so how do we work on this hand? Well, we kind of want to cut it in half. So let's try that right here. And then we'll go all the way to here. And we'll go all the way to here. All the way to here. We may have to do something different with the thumb. It looks like it stops there. Let's try that for right now. We can go back and we can always add more cuts. So let's go ahead and hit cut here and unfold. And notice it kind of opens it up there. We may have to do fingers individually and cut them off. Now, that sounds sick, cutting off an alien's fingers. Who does that, right? This guy, apparently. So let's go ahead, keep it going. Just like that. Just trying to see where I'm going with it. And I'll hit cut there. And oh, I want to take this UV shell right here. Right? And I want to unfold both of these, okay? There we go. That's what I'm trying to do. Do you see now how much more even this pattern is? Now, granted, they're on a weird part on the texture. Once again, we could hit this checker box here. And you can see now just how much better and more even they are. Now, what you do also see here, notice the checker boxes here are different sizes than here. So I do want to scale these two up, right? So I'm going to select those two UV sets and I'm going to scale them a little bit until they look like they're about the same exact size. Okay, that's good. Good. Okay, so now we're starting to get there. Now we do have these seams here, and like I said, we can go into Photoshop and paint the textures on perfectly, and which is what we're going to do. I just wanted us to see what we could do with these textures, and I wanted to see what they would look like. And I could take these over here and place them on here. Now I'm not going to have them overlap. I'm actually going to have them all spread out evenly on here. And I'm going to try to do it in an order so that it's in Photoshop. It's easy to tell what's what. It's easy to see that these are hands right here and these are arms, but sometimes when you're doing this, you can't really tell very well. Okay? So back to object mode. Yep. It's looking a lot better. Now I know, I get it, this doesn't look good right here. When I say it's looking a lot better, I mean these are all scaled appropriately and they're the right size. Okay? The checker boxes match in size and distribution. That's what we're going for. I promise it'll make more sense when we get into Photoshop and you kind of see all this laid out. All right, so we'll continue the next lesson, kind of working through this process a couple more times. I'll see you then.